Alright, in this video I wanted to show off a little bit of a quirky, it's maybe a known playstyle. I don't know that too many people do it, but with the creation of the spellcaster weapons where you have effects based on spellcasts, and especially with the change to Optico for Lucky Beast mages, since they bent over and fucked that dry. There's some workarounds. I think with the crit lean thing still to come with the Iron Hoof stuff. I still think there's a potential for it to be viable, and they could always just add the lean into the misc itself so that it maintains the old playstyle, which is what they should do because it's a premium item and it was sort of basically it was meta, but they're not always so fucking smart. But kind of an idea that was come out of another character and then seen it being used, actually recommended it, but I hadn't actually done it myself. But what you can do is take low-level auto-hit spells, and you're not too worried about the damage from the spells. You just want the hits to land, and because they're auto-hit, they never miss. And so you can do this playstyle with looks like 5 different elements. And I'll show what those elements are here. So you have, let's go to these token shops. So you get 3 options in the token shop, and the nice thing about this is all 5 spells of these elements are at minimum 4 hits, with Vidrir's Judgment being like 8 or 9 or something like that. And so let's see. So if you go into the token shop, into the spells, you have Dark Spray, which is going to be the efficient spell. So like this one is only 53 MP, so that's all you're going to be spending Nova. And so I think that is the normal one, and then this one is the overcharged one for that level. So you just want to go with the cheaper one. And then you have the Frost Elf one, which is this here for 53. So it's only 396 tokens each, so it's worth doing. And then in the Geocastellum first quest, which is the quest that you want to use to level with, which is going to be, let's see, you go to Mastercraft Sets and you go to Geocastellum, and then you go to the intro quest, and then you just play that quest. At the end, you're going to want basically the lowest level. I think I just did level 15. I think it's 50 something MP. I could have picked the level 5 to get off a little better, and then you have Vidrir's Judgment. But basically all you're going to do here is you're going to equip your weapon. So like, for example, Dragonhead Archon is a fire weapon, and there's plenty of fire weapons that do effects based on spells. And then what's kind of nice about auto hit is this thing pays for its effect in BTH, so you can just continue using this setup if you want to. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and toggle this on, and then you just do Frost Elf Assault. So it's versus, as you can see, you basically have up to a 5 power for 4 duration burn. And obviously it's not going to do a lot of damage because it's 10%, but you can do that there. And then I'm also using optical for the potence, the omnipotence. So you see, you're still getting that. So you might get lucky and get the lucky strike on the phase SP heal. Now there are other weapons that wasn't really set up to be too successful with that. So there are other weapons I wanted to show off. Let's see here. In the fire category, let's see what I have here. So you got, let's see, you just passed it. Heroic Titan's Herald. You're gonna pay like $390 something, $392 SP. You could go that route. You're gonna get your Prism Burn and your Burn. Let's see, you're gonna have so Rebirth Staff does choke. The Vengeance of Nulgath Arsenal will do Fear and Fire Burn. Also, the Dragonhead Archon does the regen, which is why I use it also. Let's see what else we have. Seems like there's some others. Maybe that is it for now. I can't remember if the Bloodthirsty Protean magic weapon is cast based. Then also, with you're gonna also have Warcaster. It'll work with. Even though that's not a per hit thing, but you're just going to pay the extra SP. And then also the classic knee board, you can actually use it with Vidrier's. Let's see where I have it. No, I don't remember where. Right here, the level 15 one. Now, one of the things that's happened with Karnak's knee board is I think they changed it, but then they unchanged it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pay. Hang on, this bouncing ass fucking armor. I swear, I hate it. So $392 for control. So this is a fire spell, so I wanted to show off. We got fire and an energy knee board. So you have the control and the poison anyways. So there's no additional cost. I don't know if this is because this is the classic or if the newer one, if they updated it. I'm not real sure. You'll be able to see that it works with Sizzlers. As you can see, it just works. Nova is a little bit slow. Kind of like Sizzler's animation, a little bit fast. Alright, so wanted to go ahead and so I don't have it here, but you have Dark Spray. Have it somewhere. Does it pass it? Sorry, I was testing something with these. I want to like these exalted drones, but there's just something about them. They're just not strong enough, I guess. You're gonna have to stack it with like multiple LE shields, maybe Bag of Nuts, Zfinity Gauntlet. You can use the Invincible spell or whatever it's called. Dark Spray you can use with Chaotic Lucerda Staff to on the chromatic mode, and then also because chaotic Lucerda Staff works on all 4-hit spells. So again, it'll actually work with that. So that's going to be kind of a win there. So I'm going to actually do it without toggling it on. So as you can see, you're getting some poison. And then we can toggle this guy on. So I'm not sure why there may be some issues with that spell. I don't know if it's auto hit. Let me look at the battle log. Should say rolled a guaranteed hit, so we'll see what happens. Rolls a guaranteed hit, rolls a guaranteed hit. So maybe 14, 16, 48, 20. So I'm not sure. It's 4 hits, roll a guaranteed hit. Might die again here, but that's fine. I'm just showing this off. Oh, it's enduring the toxins. That's what's going on. I just saw it in the caption there. It's resisting it. But it is a way to cheaply let's see, we'll do this one here. It's a way to cheaply inflict. There we go. That's the max power on a 4-hit spell. So, like I said, it's a cheap way to get your Lucerda Staff. Like I said, it's only 50 MP, 53 or something like that. Then you got your Nova. So let's go back to my let's see here. There's going to talk about the options for the light spell. So I don't have the light weapon there. So you have the new Rubicon Legate Pugio, I guess you pronounce it, a weapon. You have the Lovestruck Wand. The Radiant Spire of Transformation does blind and burn toggles. Let's see, there's a lot of light options. This thing I think does barrier. Let's see. So that's bleed, barrier. And then that would be it for that. Other options on darkness. I think Riadne's Venomous Skith on magic mode also does poison on darkness spells. The Spire of Transformation on that package, there's a darkness and light version of those. Again, that's a blind or a burn. And then that may be it for darkness. I'm trying to remember what else. Yeah, I think that's it for darkness. Now, my favorite one is Scargourd the Overachiever. I'm going to show it finally, and then I'm going to actually show it specifically with something. The Scargourd the Overachiever is from Mogloween, either the Quest or the Limited Time Shop. I think it is the best caster weapon for DOTs because it does Earth Poison by default, and then you toggle the 193 SP, And I don't know if it does less damage too, but they're very strong and they're per hit. So you're going to be able to see, as long as they inflict, they evaded some of it. So in this case, it was 5 burn and 75 poison. So that's very cheap to do. Yeah, there is a damage reduction on your spells. That's why I was hitting for zeros right there, but it still was working. So as you can see, burn is at 10, poison is at 13.75. So you just build those, and this creature 72 in phase, you're basically just needing to maintain your SP at this point. I'll do this again. Let's do Primecaster to get to Earth a little bit better. So you got 10 power on both that time. Let's see what happens. So we went from 21 to 1,000. So that's 1,000 damage. Basically spending 193 SP and 3 MP. So the monster's going to be dead here. Alright, now I'm going to move on to my favorite usage of this is with the Rain Plate. The reason why it's the best thing is this skill here will heal you if you have burn. It's a trigger effect and it's extremely strong. This skill here will do celerity, including if you cast a spell. Let's see here. So I think that guy's gonna do some magic attacks. So I'm gonna change this to intelligence so that shield will do it. It'll be Dex Inflict versus monster endurance, so might have a fighting chance. But basically you get a cheaper celerity. So what I'm going to show you now is you got 1448. So once you get to the second cast, so we have 18 power and 20 poison. And phase is going to be able to maintain that SP. You can see we're like 22 and 30. If that inflicts every time, you're gonna get 28 and 30 actually. So I actually had some not inflict. I'll show that real quick. So this is extremely strong. If you want to, you can bring on Parry on Quest and basically get more burn. It'll be 8 hits worth of burn. That'll be 2.2 power per burn. And like I said, this is basically endless. It was 27 power and 30. I was off by a power. So we're going to go from, let's see, 6124 to 3511. So you're looking at 2,600 damage in 2 turns, just on the burns and the bleeds. So as you can see, it's extremely strong. Now I'm going to do one more thing that's going to cost a little bit more SP. So I'm going to bring in, so I could do this, Parry on Crest. So let's test this idea. I'm going to test 2 ideas here. So we're going to go with that misc, and then we're going to go with, what is the name of it? I forgot the name of it. It's a new item. It's a token package misc. It does different effects based on your weapon. Where is it at? It's Night Slayer misc or something. Night Slayer Grasp. So this is going to do, this is actually going to do Earth Poison, but it's a poison siphon, so it'll dilute the heal. But what'll end up happening is the poison will skyrocket in value so high that that dilution won't even matter. But what we're going to do first is test this guy. So the Earth Burn is up to 26.8. So it's up to 40 power instead of 27. So that kind of tells you where we're at with that. Now let's come in, and we're going to now use the, let's see here, Night Slayer Grasp, and it's actually going to do an Earth Poison that will be healing me. So the poison is up to 26 instead of 20 and healing me for 0.23 times the damage. But the poison, as you just saw, was 1347. So let's see, 1347 times 0.23. It's 309 heal. And then you have to keep in mind that Rain Plate is also healing because there's a burn on the monster. So it's not just the 309. It's healing for, I probably healed for 300 or 400. So I'm going to bring this way down. Come back with this. Let's turn 2. So we're now up to 45 and 0.33. So let's see what happens with my hit points. So I healed 715 from the poison because the poison damage was 2145. But prior to that, because of Rain Plate's trigger, it was 426. So you basically have the 426 plus the 715. You're going to have 1141. Looks like heal just already by turn 2. Let's see here. This is going to actually kill the monster here, but just to show the power we're getting up to. So we're already up to 54 power at 0.36. So the dilution actually improves. And then the poison was like over 2400 at 0.36. So as you can see, it's extremely strong. As more caster stuff comes out, it may be a viable playstyle, especially with like Soul Neko if you just want to do burns. Or the new Direlean. I don't like Direlean. If Direlean comes up with, if they make Direlean work on a trigger, like it's basically, Direlean is neutral, and then once a DOT is on the monster, it triggers. So the lean will change to intake like times 25% or whatever, and then your DOT damages by plus 25%. If that was the case, it would be a little better. I still think that overall the lean is not very good. I think they should actually do one of two things. That they should either, which will be a coding nightmare probably, make all outgoing statuses 25% stronger. So anything you inflict on the monster, panic, choke, the cold, blind, anything that's not a stun, so like obviously like paralyze wouldn't work, but like you could do daze and fear could maybe add 25% to the percent chance stack, stuff like that. Sleep wouldn't work. You could actually do plus 25 damage to fire burns and burns, poisons, and bleeds. As much of a nightmare as that would be, I would actually prefer, if the incoming damage is going to be 1.25, why not just give an equal amount of omnipotency to all statuses, and that's the lean. And then instead of focusing on damage, the power is being focused on the ability to inflict. And so I know a certain cult mind would probably balk at that and be like, that's too overpowered, but I think that's the only way to make the lean worthwhile, because you could use that lean with any build, you could use that lean with any playstyle, as long as you're doing statuses and stuff. And so I think it would, at the end of the day, it would be better. But that's it for this video. Again, this is really nice with anything that especially has like plus 25% burns or poisons or bleeds, or you can use it with like the Neko series stuff. You can use it with the new Dire Lean to get a little bit more out of it. And with the change to Optico, you can still maintain your pet and guest like that, because all you need to worry about really, like, even if you're like not a mage, you can just use like Plush Mort to replenish your SP, or just a single mosquito or jelly or whatever you want, instead of relying on anything else. And I think this specific setup, especially with the Earth, the Scarecrow weapon is underrated. It might kind of look bad and cheesy, but it's incredibly strong. I use it with Underworld Archfiend to get like a 1.8 power bleed, along with that amount of burn and poison, just to get a combined. It's usually like 2,000 to 3,000 damage with Underworld Archfiend, but you're spending 653 MP, which has become more difficult to get back. But now you can just focus on the if you need more potency, shields, like those exist, or miscs, instead of relying on a pet and guest. You could just use Pride Lords or whatever, and then just manage your SP some other way, just a turn or two to get it back, just to have the potency on stuff. It's a way to go, just with the auto hit spells. But that's it for this video.